started. Welcome to the Fearless Podcast. This is our first episode. I am your host, Sharpe, aka Bake Sharpie. And today I'm here with our special guest, JC Ilar. He's a great friend of mine, and I know that like today in this talk, he'll bring great value to you guys. We go way back. We used to dance together on CG. We don't dance anymore, obviously. But I'm like super excited to get on with this talk. JC, if you want to just tell the chat a little bit about yourself so they have an idea of who you are.
Well, if you don't know, my name is two letters, JC, stands for Jesus Christ. God bless the Lord. I went to school at Cal State Fullerton, studied business management, focused on finance. So I mean that's kind of that's the reason why I have like such a mindset for money, motivations, and yeah, Sharpe has been one of those people that I've looked up to in terms of finances and lifestyles and just perseverance. So can't wait to get into it.
For sure. So just in case you guys didn't know, we're going to be talking about three main things today. Something that we're both really passionate about. We're going to be talking about our mindset, how to improve it, what things about it that we do to feed our mindset and feed our mind, because that's one of the things that's really important to us. We're going to be talking about motivation, what motivates us, and how we stay motivated for the goals that we want to reach for ourselves. And then we're also going to be talking about money, because as JC said, he is a finance major and he is really interested in money and like everything about it, and I am as well. And I feel like it's one of those things that people are afraid to talk about it, because it's like it literally is around us all the time, and most of the time it is what motivates us. And so I feel like talking about money would be a great thing to do for the podcast.
Especially for like the people of our age, millennials. During like this time around, it's more so like trying to understand where you're trying to go or what you're trying to do in life, So like money does play a motivation factor into your daily decisions. But, with like mindset that we'll talk about, it can lead you to bad financial stresses, but you can overcome those and persevere through those with that kind of mindset too. Mm-hmm. So
even for people our age, I feel like it's a hard thing to talk about for sure, because we're all really going into like the dirt and grinding our way and trying to find like what we're meant to do, Right. And so I feel like today's talk is definitely going to be a really good one, just for everyone. Let's just go with mindset first, and then we'll just slowly go through everything. Mm-hmm. So one thing that I really wanted to ask you, and I could probably take turns in answering this question, but what are some things that you do, whether it's in your daily routine or something that you're trying to do as well, on how you improve your mindset?
So I mean, everyone like talks about this like fairly actually a lot frequently, but it's exercise. So a lot of times like people kind of disregard exercise being 30 minutes a day type of thing, but any type of exercise will help kind of clear the mind and help you kind of get back into a stable
like stability, like stabilizing.
Yeah, like kind of in that kind of environment again,
mm-hmm.
To like reset yourself basically. Yeah. So exercise is like one of those things where like for me, depending on like how early I wake up, mm-hmm. I'll like do breakfast and then I'll go out of my neighborhood and just walk around the neighborhood, mm-hmm. just to kind of like see the sun, as it rises, because I don't necessarily see the sun in my apartment anymore. But like when I was here,
that's cool.
I used to like see the sun every day, You know, so I knew what time to wake up, and it'd be early because of the sun like, hitting my side of the room. But because of my apartment now, it's like I don't see the sun very often. It's like
That's interesting.
So like the sun kind of like represents like how you are throughout the day. Like if it's gloomy, I tend to like not stay, or I tend to stay inside.
Yeah.
Because like I just don't want to go outside.
Because it's all dark.
Right, exactly. Like I want to enjoy the sunlight. So like for me in the mornings, I'll walk around the neighborhood just to get like my blood flow, exercise the mind. Kind of, it's like my meditation period, essentially, because you're like letting yourself roam around your creativity path of your environment, and you get to like use that energy from outside to like fuel yourself inside, and it kind of helps you like clear your mindset that way too.
Yeah. So you feel like because I also really enjoy like working out,
right?
And like it almost feels like a way to meditate in a sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't really have to think, and you're just like doing it. And like for me, when I go, I feel like afterwards I feel almost like I feel a bunch of endorphins like after the workout. Like I feel good that I like went to go work out and that like focusing on my body.
Right.
And I really try to like make it a consistent thing. And so there's some days when like I wake up and since I go to the gym Monday through Friday, like there's some days when I'm like, fuck, I really don't feel like going.
Right,
like,
of course.
Like I just don't want to get out of bed. It's like too comfortable.
Yeah.
And then just whenever I feel like I'm fighting that person and like I actually get myself to go, once I'm like in the car going to the gym, it's like it's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the hardest part is getting yourself there.
Yeah.
Right.
Like literally going.
Yeah. You have to like push yourself definitely outside of like comfort zone to like get you there. And it's easier once you're there because you're like, all right, do I waste my time driving here or do I waste my time actually getting myself better? So like that also helps like get into that mindset respectively, because like you already wasted your time getting ready. You already wasted your time driving. Like are you just gonna sit there and go into the sauna or like the stretch room and just lay there?
It's true.
So like you're already there. You might as well do something that'll help you improve in your life. But the second hardest part of that is that it's the consistency portion. You know, like it's one thing to get there, and it's another thing to like do it every single day, day after day after day. You know,
that's true.
Like the repetitiveness is hard, but it's worth it because like you're 20% of your daily habits are 80% of your success in the long run. So definitely take that into consideration what you do every single day.
Yeah.
Because if you're not improving yourself every day, like that 1% and like the small things that you're trying to succeed later down the line, then you're not gonna reach your end goal later. Then you know it might take you, like say that you have a goal to meet within 5 years. If you're not practicing the daily habits that you need to get there within that 5 years, it could take from 5 years to 10 to 15 or 20. You know, so it just all depends on like how you do or what you do in your daily habits that'll achieve, like make you go to the next level.
It's like a waterfall or butterfly effect,
right?
Yeah.
Or domino effect.
Domino effect, yeah. I think one thing that I really struggled with, at least in like regards to that, is so I feel like at one point, even the littlest amount of progress is still good. And it took me a really long time to understand that, because I felt like, I'm not in the place where, like, this is probably around like sophomore year in college, like around maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Like I felt like, I'm not where I want to be right now, and I feel like it's so far away, like my goal is so far away, and I'm like barely even reaching it. But I think one thing that I would want everyone to know, and something that I've been, improving myself, is that like even 1% progress is still progress.
Right, progress is progress. Yeah. It's progress.
And we really need to like understand that it's something like great things take time. And even though you might feel stuck or or you don't know like where to go or what to do, like just know that every little thing that you do, whether that's going to the gym on that Tuesday that you don't want to go to, or reading a book and stopping halfway, it's like you still read half the book, you still are progressing, and like maybe the next book you'll be able to finish it or something like that, you know?
Okay, going off of that topic of being like reading books, right? So you could read a book for 30 minutes, but the difference between a person that like reads the book and a person that actually understands the book is how they utilize what they've learned. So like, say that you're reading like a self-help book, right? You read it for 15 minutes and you're just like, okay, I completely understand it, but have you completely understood it to the point where you can exemplify what they taught?
That's true.
You know, so like, it's for me like I have a hard time understanding books, so I'll take my time reading it and I'll analyze it on the sides, or like I'll write it on a piece of paper, like, just so that I have an understanding of what they were actually trying to say. And obviously like different words will like pop up more so for other people. So like they'll have an understanding in different ways. But that's like that's the beauty of reading, is because there's not just one like way. There's
to
like,
understand it.
There's a variety of ways to understand things.
That's true.
So you use whatever you comprehended from it to like help you in the long run from it, you know? So use those self-help books to actually help yourself, but you have to apply it for you to actually show that you understand it.
That's true.
You know, like you can always say like, I read the book. Like, okay, so I read the book too. And
like you need to apply it as well as just reading it.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think that's definitely a big thing. I don't know if it was in a book or a quote or something that I'm remembering, but it's like you can't just like have the knowledge, you need to also like apply it as well, because then it's like knowledge just by itself isn't going to do anything until you actually apply like what you're learning,
right?
And so it's definitely a big difference between like reading a book for enjoyment and like reading a book to learn and understand the like ideals behind the book too.
Right. And like if you, let's say like if you're trying to, I mean, you can use books to, or like any form of art or literature kind of thing, to help you boost your creativity. Like you have ones that are self-help books, so the ones they're also like nonfiction books that can help you, you know, boost that creativity in yourself, because what we take from books is like our movies in our mind, you know? Like when Harry Potter first came out, before it even came out, like I was reading the book and I had a different visual of like how Harry Potter went down. But that's the art of like the books, because you imagine it in your own eyes in a different way compared to what it might show on a movie. You know, so like that's something that I like to read too, because you exercise all types of your brain, whether it be like critical thinking, analytical thinking,
that's true,
creativity, you know what I mean?
It's like all sides, even if it's a fictional book,
right?
Like you still practice that. I actually never really noticed that until you talked about that. Like even fictional books, and like it practices that critical thinking and almost like visualization, because like it's not like there's any pictures and stuff. Like,
like you really have to just think about it in your head. Like, what would it be? And visualization is like a good thing in success and just in general, you know, because like okay, for another example, like let's say that you have a goal that you want to achieve, right? You have to kind of put yourself, like let's say if it's on the long term, like 10 years, right? You want to like see yourself in that position where you've already achieved what you want to achieve, right? Put yourself in that kind of environment and really like hone in on the details, because the more that you see yourself in it, the more like that visualization and imagery comes to life. You kind of build that.
It becomes real in
environment.
Your head.
It becomes real in the environment itself. You know.
That's true. I do. I think one of the books that I read, Think and Grow Rich, talks a lot about like
Dude, I love that book.
Visualization. Did you read it? Yeah. I think I'm gonna read it again.
That's a good book.
It's a good book. Yeah. So if anyone wants, I suggested this book to one of my friends too. It's just like it's literally the laws or the ideals behind like success, or what all successful people have in common. And one of those things is is a type of visualization, like visualizing your goals, or just being, almost repetition of your goals every single day, so that you know exactly what you need to do to reach them. Because I think it's really easy in the society that we live in now to get distracted, like with social media, TV, friends, school, like work. Like if you repeat, like let's just say you had one goal, and your one goal was to do like 10,000 pull-ups.
Right.
Yeah, every day you keep trying to pull up, but then somewhere down the line you get distracted. Like maybe work is getting super intense.
Right.
But as long as you keep visualizing that goal and repeating it to yourself, then like you're gonna go back.
Right.
And sometimes I feel like people that make a goal like that, they don't like push for it because they get distracted.
Right. And it's also, I mean, going with the whole mindset kind of thought, it's more so like it turns back all into the reason why. Why are you doing what you're actually doing? If you say that you want your goal to be 1,000 pull-ups, are you doing the daily things that you need to get done necessary for you to actually accomplish that 1,000 pull-ups?
That's true.
You really have to hone in onto your reason as to the things that you're doing. Why is the most important thing in all aspects of life, because you really start to make decisions on what is really important. You're not basing any of the decisions based upon your emotions. You're basing it upon like the reality of the future,
what you want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
What you want. Yeah. I think desire is like a huge part of mindset. Because if you have a really strong desire for something, then you're gonna find a way to reach that goal, and nothing will stop you. It's like a really powerful emotion.
Like, okay, so you have desires, and it's also, you can also correlate that with dreams. Like we have big dreams. A lot of people don't see that they have big dreams, but it's only because you're so filled into what is actually real and what is actually capable of. You really need to get outside of that environment of like, okay, this is what's possible, but let me take it a step further. Like, what do I want to do to get better being average? You don't want to just settle for average. And like, using your dreams allows you to like really think bigger of yourself and what you are,
bigger goals for like yourself.
Like, you don't want to just stay stagnant. Like let's say you have a small goal, you accomplish that, and then you have another small goal, but are those small goals getting to your bigger goal, the bigger accomplishment?
It's true.
You need to figure out what your end goal is.
So you know where to go.
Find out who has that.
I just remembered something. It's a little metaphor that I thought of. I think I was at the gym. I don't know where it was, but I think I was at the gym. And like usually at the gym, I like listening to podcasts while working out.
Same.
And so one of the things that popped into my head about like creating a goal, or like why it's important to create a goal for yourself, is, so imagine, okay, I don't know why I thought in guns, but imagine you have a sniper rifle. And you have so much desire that your bullets in your sniper rifle is like huge, and it could shoot through anything, right?
Wow, this guy is so
if you don't have a goal that you can aim at, then maybe you might shoot off target and you're going to land somewhere else that you don't want to be.
Right.
And so it's super important to create that goal, create that target, so that all that desire that you have to reach that goal can be used in a focused way to like hit the target that you want.
Right.
And I think a lot of people kind of it's not that they forget, but I think that there's a lot of people that don't do that, and then they end up in a field or job that they like hate.
Right.
And
I get you.
Like, you understand me, right? Like,
I was in that position. What do you mean? He did insurance. No, I totally get you, because if you think about it like this way too, like you have a target, and yes, you aim for it and you go for it, right? Let's say that you still miss, but your target is around that area, you know, like you
It's
can navigate
there
yourself.
somewhere,
You can navigate yourself back into like the correct position, right? You know, and I obviously for guns, like you have to reshoot it, but you know, like it's like 100 shots that you don't take. What is it?
Yeah, like, you know, miss every shot.
You miss every shot that you don't take. Right? You know, you have to like go back and do it, you know, until it's actually perfect. But like what I'm saying is, your target is in a general area, you know, like you could still pinpoint back to where you're gonna go. You know, it's not always gonna be like the perfect shot the first time. You know, obviously you're gonna have to take some time to practice it, but once you get the time to do, and once you've actually progressed and perfected the craft, you know, you already got it.
Yeah, it's like figuring it out.
Exactly.
It's like a little bit off target, but you're
right there. Yeah, you're right there. Really just close. Make some adjustments and it'll be good. It'll be good.
Yeah, I feel that. Let's see. So I'm thinking that we should move on to like motivation.
Yeah.
Motivation mindset. Right. What do you feel like has grown you the most as a person? Whether that's like a challenge, because I know that there's some people that they feel like they grow the most from challenges, that like they're challenging themselves to become better,
right? Or
maybe a really challenging portion of their life. But there's also people that grow from like the happy moments in their life,
right?
For example,
it's like they're like content with where they are now, and it's time for them to move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, I feel really comfortable here, but like I want to push myself more, and that made them grow,
right?
Rather than like a challenge, you know.
Okay.
So do you feel like there was a challenge maybe that pushed you to grow, or maybe something on the more comfort side that pushed you to grow?
Okay, so like for me as a person, I had to work on a lot of things internally. Fighting battles in my head, also like an image that I put on myself. That was one of the biggest challenges that I've had. And I'm still going through that, to be honest. Like, you know, like I really have to showcase that I'm a different person than who I was back then. And it's only because like I have that sole desire to do so. You know, like I know for a fact I'm 100% different from where I was back then to where I am now because of the whole mindset that I have. And it's all because of like the people that help you go through it, you know, like you
the support
guys,
system.
Like the support system is a big thing, you know, and we have friends and family, but we use those people to help us like boost ourselves up during the times that we don't have anyone, you know. And for the people that don't have like mentors or anything, it's kind of hard to like dig yourself out of a hole
that you dug yourself in.
You know, and like people are trying to help you, but they can't help you like unless you help yourself first. And I saw that too. So I mean, I needed to help myself before I could actually help other people. But as soon as I started focusing on myself, I noticed that I wasn't only helping myself, I was helping others around me to grow up, you know?
I see, like growing together.
Yeah. So like that's where I found the most pleasure and what has helped me grow the most, because not only did I help myself like grow in all aspects in terms of my relationships, in terms of my friendships, in terms of communication, my work ethic, you know, all those things are from lessons I've learned through the help of, you know, my friends like you, Frankie, Fam, everyone in the D house, and then not only my girlfriend Mar. You know, it's like big shout out to Mar, like, cause she's seen the worst of the worst, you know, and she's helped me like grow in that person. And I feel like that was the most important for me personally, because of the fact that I lost so much of myself back then that I needed to regain like, as a person again.
Almost like not re-identify, but just like regrow as like a person, kind of.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of lessons that you tend to lose as you experience college or just want to live life, you know. And being not forced out, but like not necessarily having an option to stay at home didn't really help with the fact that like I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life.
What to do next and stuff.
So I mean, like without any guidance from my parents being there, it was more so like I had to figure it out myself. I mean, I'm fine with like having to figure that out you know, now, because of the fact that what I've gone through, I can help share you grow. so that someone else might not be able to have to go through what I go through.
Yeah, that's really true.
What about you? Like, is yours the challenges, or is yours the enjoyable moments that we've had? Like, for me, like, also when there's an experience that I will not say. A group of us were at the park, and we came to a like. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
It just came in my head. Like, oh, Jesus. So like, I remember at a park, I was sitting on the grass just looking at the sky, and I had the revelation of like, okay, like my life is at peace. It's gonna come together very closely.
Yeah.
You know, and it was at that time when everything felt so blissful because I was with my friends. I was with my friends, and I felt I was experiencing something that I totally was not ready for.
Yeah.
But it was like the best feeling ever because I felt like there was a snippet of my future right there, you know, and I wanted more of it. So I went to go chase after it.
Okay.
So
I think, well, one thing before I kind of answer the question is that when you around the time when you were first like attracted to Mar,
right,
I thought it was really cool to hear from you that I can't remember the exact words, but you said something along the lines of like, I like the person that I like am with her, and like the person that she kind of makes me
right
become, or like who I am when I'm with her, and like I don't know how to phrase that.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And like people, your support system can really do that for you.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what I love about it too, because like we build so much close relationships with friends, you know, and that starts to become our second family. Obviously our family's gonna be your family, but you know, like if you're far away from them, it's kind of hard to like distinguish them being a family friend. You know, like I have you guys because it's like I've lived with you guys for like the longest time, and to have such a relationship that not only like holds you down but also raises you up wholeheartedly, like that's the best type of investment you want to do with people too. You know, like nowadays we communicate but very minimally, you know, like we'll talk over text,
like very small talky. It's
very rare that you, like, aside from like girlfriends, parents, right, you barely get a phone call from your friends. I mean, I'll call you.
Yeah, it's true.
I'll call you.
He still calls me all the time.
Just saying. Just kidding. No, but so it's like we call each other, we communicate with each other, but like other people don't have that kind of connection where I'll call you and be like, hey, what are you doing? You know, check up on you type of thing. Yeah. And it's one of those things where you need to exercise because that's how you grow with others. Yeah. You know, and that's one of those things that your support group wants to know where you are so that you can help them too. Yeah. You know, granted, they might not say it in words, but
but they're
saying, yeah. You know,
at least with their actions, something.
Exactly. Because then, you know, you're kind of, I wouldn't say like wasting time as being friends if you're not like helping each other out, but you're just kind of there. You're being like their friend. Like I'll be there for you for sure. Like if you need me, I'll be there.
Yeah. True.
You know, but I want the friends that are kind of like, all right, like I'm invested in you because I believe in you, and I know that you believe in me. You know, like I wanna support my friends, whether some form of way. You know? Yeah,
it's like
that's why I keep tabs on you guys.
True. One of the goals, I mean, like I said before in the trailer, like one of the goals of this podcast is to create a community of people that push each other to become better than the day before, and I really feel like we're cultivating a community that really wants to, you know, push themselves to be better. Right. And we were talking about like support systems and stuff like that. Yeah. And I feel like I've had my fair share of people that was like toxic in my life, you know?
Yeah. Agreed.
And I don't want to like, or I don't want to talk ill of other people, you know?
Agreed.
But if there's like toxic people in your life, or let's just say that there's someone out there right now that have toxic people in their life and it's causing them to
be stagnant.
Yeah, be stagnant, and they can't grow and blossom to that person that they want to be. What would you tell that person, like advice wise, maybe, of a way to either like find people that are supportive in them or like in their lives, or removing those toxic people from their life, because it could be a significant other, it could be a parent, and I know that there's a lot of people that like deal with that.
Experiences. Yeah, for sure. And it's hard.
I know, it's a hard question.
That's actually a very good question, but like there's like you can do a variety of ways. It just depends on like what route you want to take and like whose route you want to follow. You know, like there's people that have like gone and pushed away like toxic people in their lives. They kind of like burn bridges, so they end friendships and whatnot. And then others are just kind of like they'll hold them still there, but like slide away from them,
just low. Casually,
right? And they don't want to like hurt each other's feelings, but like like on the real though, like if you're trying to be a real friend, like front stab that dude. Not dude, but you know what I mean. Like, front stab the person that your friend is. True. You know, like you don't want to backstab a person. You want to front stab them because that's where you show your real character.
It's like it's a front stab, but in a really loving and like supportive way. It's like you want them to grow too. Right,
exactly. And like you have to understand that you have to set a boundary. You know, like there's times where friends aren't on the same page, and you have to understand that that's because you're on different platforms. You have different plans for yourself, right? But you have to set that boundary for yourself so that no one else gets hurt. You know, you respect your friendship enough to hold each other like accountable. And if it is toxic, you know, by all means, like tell them like, hey, I think this is not right at the moment, you know, and live with that lesson learned. Because like there's times where you're gonna encounter toxic people in your life and you're gonna have to walk away from them.
That's true.
But you have to move that as a lesson because of the fact that these people were meant to teach you a lesson, not to be there as a friend only throughout your life. You know? Those L's are worth listening for lessons.
Oh my god, that's so true. I love that. That's one way to think about it. One of my friends, I think I'm gonna have her on the podcast too in a future episode, but her name's Amanda. And one thing that she told me, because she has not necessarily has toxic people in her life, but just people in her life that doesn't align with her goals.
Right.
And so one thing that I admire about her is that she used like books as her support system.
Right. Yeah.
And like one thing that I really like about books is that it's almost like having a mentor that you may or may not have been able to been connected to because of like
personally
environmental like social reasons. Like you might not have never met this person, but it's a way for them to like mentor you and learn from them. And so I thought that was really cool. So also if like you're the type of person that has toxic people in life and like you literally have no one to turn to and you can't get rid of them because maybe they're family or something, you can always turn to books and like other podcasts and just places that are positive so that you can like grow into the person that you want to be, because it's not fair that you know, letting other people kind of decide your fate. Like you're in charge and you're responsible for yourself, and sometimes it's hard to like face that fact, but you can always find some way to get to focus and kind of put your guard up against people that are toxic and in a way to push yourself.
And self-help books are like a good way as like a mentor, like you would say, right? But the only downside is that you can't give feedback to a person that you don't have connection to, you know? And it's kind of hard, you know? It's really hard because like you'll actually understand the concept, or you'll actually want to try what they're doing, but you have nothing to like to share with others to kind of adjust what you're doing and to get to the next level, you know? So, you got to find the people that you want your success from, like you surround yourself with people that are like-minded, and you essentially become the product of your environment,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Right. So like the people that you surround yourself, like you, like let's say if you have like 5 millionaires, right, and they're all investors and whatnot, and those are your 5 friends, and because of those 5 friends, you are probably most likely going to be a billionaire yourself.
Yeah,
because
you're 5 billionaire friends.
Exactly. You know, you're already associated with them. But if you have like 5 friends that are not really getting their lives together, they're kind of just being stagnant in life, like most likely you're probably in that same category.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like there's not a drive within just one person. Like, I mean, yes, there is, but to an extent that it has to like move everyone else, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can do it the domino effect, but you have to like push someone else forward too. You know,
it's I forgot I heard like maybe it was a quote or something, but how like your salary ends up being like 5 or 10,000 around like your 5 closest friends.
Yeah,
it's like that's just like the average, you know. Like if you have 10 or if you have 5 friends that make like $60,000 a year, then like you most likely will end up between that range,
right?
And that's not like a bad thing, but I think that's like a very real thing. That,
it is.
That's kind of hard for people to like grasp. So I don't know, getting rid of those people, not getting rid of them, but like
I think it's also like helping someone else dream bigger too, you know.
True.
During college, for you and I, like I only started reading Think and Grow Rich, right? Like 3 years before.
Yeah.
And then you started reading it, and but like ever since then, like I started like having a bigger mentality, and then that's when I started noticing like you had other big dreams and aspirations, and you know, and so on and so forth. So it was more so like those people already have that mindset. All you have to do is
just kind of activate it. Yeah. Oh, I see. That's true.
Because I mean, I already knew that you had a knack for computerizations and codings and whatnot, but also being like having to know your father. It's like he already has an idea of passive income, so I already knew from the get go like you and I would probably work with each other. Exactly. And like just like with Justin, like he has a knack for business too. You know, and I have plans to, you know, do business with everyone.
Yeah.
You know,
same. I feel like it's definitely gonna happen, you know.
Exactly, because
I don't know what, but I think it will.
Exactly, and that's when you know you like are gonna be successful, because you not only are helping yourself, but you're also helping others around you, and that's like one of the things that I want at the end of my life to be remembered as. Like I want a sense of impact.
Yeah, and other people, like bringing them with you or like pushing them to be big too, like in their life. Like
I'm not trying to like push someone down just to get better myself. Like, dude, that's just bad character as hell, you know. And it's like, you know that term, all gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've been thinking about that lately. Like, bro, like you really just gas people up, and you get such an enlightened mood from other people's reactions. It's like, dang, like I made that person smile. Yeah. You know, and not only that, like not only did he smile, like I smiled because I made that person happy. So like then not only you already fueled your energy to have a better day. Yeah. So like all gas, no brakes, no, you know, compliment
gas,
people,
no break.
like gas them up, because like you know, you're only gonna help someone have a better day compared to like someone that's having a shittier day.
I think that also too, it's like there's some people that are really great at what they do and really talented at what they do, right? But like because they're in their grind, they don't even see that, you know? Yeah. And like sometimes all that person needs to grow is just like a little boost, a little like motivation that they're like really great, and then they can become like that person that they're meant to be, you know.
It's also one thing too, like to add on to that is like persistency and consistency. You know? Like let's say if like you had about one more thing to do, like let's say if you need that one more person or one more bid, how does that work? One more bid? Yeah. One more bid to get to your goal, right? And you're like telling yourself, no, I don't want to do it anymore because you're tired. But let's say like let's say like you give yourself, okay, maybe in like 30 minutes, I think I can do another 30 minutes. That's it. You know, like that mentality of like, okay, I can still do it, just give me a little bit more time to push, you know? And if it happens, then it happens. It's good for you because you already showcased that you're persistent on it, you know? Like you already jumped over the hump that like I couldn't do anymore, but my mind said, yes, you can.
I see.
You know, like you really got to push yourself to the limit, because what if that next 30 minutes you actually get 1 or 2 more?
Yeah, that's true. You never know.
You never know unless you're actually like you're constantly pushing. Like pushing yourself, you know?
That might be like the moment when that person, you know, explodes too. It's like that always interests or like sparks me or my interest, because like you never know, like what if it was just that one more time that you tried that it reached success, you know, or like whatever your definition is,
right?
It's like you never know, it could have been one more time. Like there's that one quote, like the person that succeed is the person that just tried one more time. And like I think that's like a really powerful quote, because it's like you just get so caught up in it where like, oh, I can't do this anymore, like everything that I do is not working. But it's just like that hope for that next time being the one that makes you grow or explode or whatever. It's like really really inspiring,
right?
You know?
Like that little bit of outside of your comfort zone, that little second of comfort zone out of your comfort zone is just like the biggest impact of your life.
There was one thing that I wanted to talk about, but I kind of lost my train of thought. I know that like for everyone, their motivations are different, and like I think it'd be nice to hear like what motivates you, and then I could talk about that too.
Yeah. It all goes back to why. You know, what is the reason you're doing what you're doing? You know, like for me, like why am I going to work? Obviously to get money. Yeah. But not only that, like to grow in an environment where it's limited to grow. Yeah. You know? But you can still grow in those small little environments that you're in. Yeah, like for me, like I kind of just put myself into a thought where I see myself in the future and what have I done to get there, you know? Like I don't necessarily want to be fixated on what was the past, because it's not going to lead me back there. Yeah, like I can't focus on the past because I can't go back there. I can't change anything that's been done. Like I can only move forward. You know, so that's why I look in more so in the future, because I can change things. You know, like granted, like maybe it might not come out the way that I think about it, but in a sense, like I can still make that happen. Yeah. You know, like you're only capable of what your dream is if you allow yourself to do it. To even dream it. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. To even think of it. So like for me, like I always think about why my mom, this is a personal story, but why my mom sacrificed so much and left me to be with my uncle and have them take care of me to give me a better opportunity. Of course, obviously, you know, being a first generation, it's kind of like my mom sacrificed the most so that we can have a better future. And like for her to just give that up and for me to not do anything with my life, it's kind of like an insult. It's kind of like she instilled that. Yeah, like what happened to the hard grind in you? Yeah, exactly. Like she put in so much hours of like work, blood, sweat, and tears, and just to show I'm doing nothing. Yeah, you know, like I'm trying to build a legacy for myself, not only for myself but for like your family, the generation of like Ilars. You know, I'm the only son. Yeah, and I want people to know that the Ilars don't have a bad name to them. You know. There are like some like past histories of like Ilars being bad or like, you know, wrongdoings, but like I can't change what has already happened. Yeah, and it's not my story to change. You know, I can only change my side of the story because it's just me. You know, and if that means that I'm gonna change my whole family, you know, and involve them to be a better light in the dark. I'm gonna do so, you know, and that's when I go back and think about like my why, I have to have a deeper connection with my why, because that's when I start to think of, or I start to make decisions not based on emotions, but based on the future outcome. Yeah. Oh, I see. And I also want, like I said, like the whole impact thing, like I want to make an impact on people's lives. It's like a motivational factor too. Like I want to make sure that like what I'm doing at a certain time will impact the future, not for myself only, but for other people. I see. You know? I feel like I'm in a very similar boat with like what motivates me too. Yeah.
because I think one of the biggest motivators for me is just thinking about like my children that I mean I don't have children, just in case.
Same,
but like
though.
I would want my kids to know that like that their dad like grinded and pushed themselves or himself to the most of his ability, because then like our like bloodline will only like grow up from here, you know.
Right.
And like I'm just like imagining like a place where like, let's just say that we did business together or something, and then like our kids know too, and like they know business of our legacy or something. They do business together. They get bigger than us. Like that's like a crazy thing to like imagine.
Right.
But
I want that.
I want that. Oh, Tito JC. But I think that was definitely one of my motivating factors.
Right.
And then like similarly to like your mom and your parents is like my parents too.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like us both having like immigrant parents is like a huge factor into like how our mindset came to be, because I feel like how we were raised is like our parents are just grinders,
right?
Like
just straight
grinders, hard.
Yeah. I think that's the reason why we're both grinders for sure.
It's like you can't help it. It's like comfort was never like there,
right? Yeah, discipline.
And you have to grind to reach the life that we want to reach, and I think that like definitely affected us and affected our mindset.
Going off of like your kids, dude, like okay, so I know both of us don't have kids, but as you know, if y'all don't know, which you probably don't know, I want 5 kids. Me and my girlfriend want 5 kids, and like my success or the near success that I have, I'm not putting my kids as an excuse as to why I'm doing my business.
I see.
They are the reason for my success. You know, like I want to give them everything. I want to give them my time. Like I've noticed that divorce rates are higher in Orange County.
Damn.
Seriously.
OC.
But like I don't want to be that. I don't want to be, you know, adding to that percentage. You know, I want to be a faithful husband. I want to be a husband that will stay home whenever they want to, you know, whenever they have to. Like I want to be there for my kids to teach them life lessons, to let them see the world, to actually just be with them.
True.
Because I mean, I had my father. Okay, my real father I didn't really like spend a lot of time with because he was in the Philippines. But for me, I had Pops. Pops was like my father figure, and he spent time with me as a little kid. You know, I would go riding around the park with my bike. I'd do a lot of, you know, activities such as inline skates and whatnot. But like those were the things that I wanted to remember. You know, I want to give that to my kids. Yeah, like I want to be there for my kids when they first have like their footsteps, their first words. You know, I don't want to be like, no offense to our friends or to people that, you know, do babysittings. You know, don't get me wrong, I respect. I have patience. Love you, Adrian. But you know, I don't want to like have my kids know their nanny more than
you.
You know,
it's like it's your kid. Like,
if anything, like that's still your nana, but I'm still your father. Like help me out, you know. Like true. Love me, like talk to me.
Love me. You want to be there for them. Like you don't want them to just be another statistic, you know.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I would have fun being a stay-home father.
That sounds awesome. Amazing.
You know, for sure. Like I don't know if it would be like with like twins. Oh my God, with twins.
Just a random thought. I thought that it would be cool. I don't know if it is a thing, but like, you know how there's maternal leave? I feel like there needs to be paternal leave as well. Like the mom can't just take care of the kids on her own, like at home.
I gotta do it too.
Like you both gotta help somehow.
Don't get me wrong. Like I want to do it too. Like she popped out the baby, but I'm here to cuddle.
True.
I'm here to cuddle.
All right. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to money. I feel like it's a good transition because it's like it's something that I feel like can, like I don't think money is happiness, but I feel like it can grant you freedom to like do the thing that you want to do. You know, and that's why I feel like that's why we're both like, you know, grinding and trying to create something because. we want that freedom to like be with our kids or
Right.
do whatever it is that we want to do, whether that's like helping other people, impacting other people.
So I know I have an idea, but like, do you believe that money can buy you happiness?
Yeah, I feel like I don't think money can necessarily buy me happiness, like in the materialistic way. Like, I feel like if I have like $1 million or $100 million, whatever,
right,
and I have everything that I want, like
right,
I'm not gonna be happy, like
right,
material wise.
mm-hmm,
But I feel like if I did have that amount of money and like I'm able to use that to impact other people,
right,
and like whether that's charities or working in third world countries, like creating better homes for like the world,
right,
then I would feel my fulfillment.
yeah,
And so that
yeah.
side of like having money is like the part that I feel like
where you
can allow you to get that,
where you can contribute to your dreams and aspirations above everything that's around you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that where you're going from?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, like charities. Let's say you have charities that
Mhm.
you want to give towards to, like, you'd find fulfillment and happiness and bliss from giving yourself the donations that in the respective organizations.
Like giving them what they need.
Heard that? You heard that? Give back.
Give back, yo. Give back. It's the secret to happiness.
It really is. It really is.
Like I can't imagine. Like I know there's charities out there that help like orphanages. Like I can't even imagine not having a dad or not having a mom.
Seriously, like, I'm so grateful of our parents. Honestly, like show love. Like really though, like we recently just lost our friend, and for those that don't know, Jamel, you know, he was one of those people that had a big heart. Yeah, had a passion for everything. You know,
for everyone too.
For everyone too. Arts, everything, man. Like, and we don't take the time to actually just appreciate them and say like thank you for what they did or being them. So like really take the time to like just go out of your day just to say at least to someone, just one person a day. You know, you can't go wrong with one person.
Just one.
It'll just even increase your like morale, your boost morale, you know. So like at least tell one person that you like either, you know, love them or you appreciate them for their friendship or your relationship that you have, you know. Like I text this dude like, pretty often. I love you. I miss you.
I love you too.
I have separation anxiety. You know, those little things shows my appreciation, and he knows that. So
it's true. You never know when like someone close to you will not be there anymore, and that may not even be like death. It might be just like growing apart. It might be. Maybe they got a job in like Seattle, Mitch. Maybe you're just not gonna see them as often anymore, but you never know. So it's important to like give appreciation because at the end of the day, then like what else are you doing, you know? And
people want to feel that support too, you know. Like if one person sends you that text, you know, pay it forward to someone else. You know, you can pay it forward back to them later down the line and be like, hey, like. I know we haven't caught up in a while, but, you know, hope everything's good. You know, feel free to give me a call when you need me. Some people might actually need that when the time comes. Yeah, you just don't know unless you actually try.
Yeah, you never know what someone's could be going through, too.
Right. You know, people go through some weird, bad stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't help them unless you, like, kind of go out your way of saying, like, I have my hand. Oh, just like, who's this guy? Corey Boy. Yeah. He says a hand reached out sometimes isn't just reached out to help, but for help as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Corey, for that input. That's I actually think that's a really nice way to put it too. You know? Yeah. Like
definitely A1, dude.
I always felt like it was always to help. You know, I feel like it's hard to ask for help for sure.
It is. I feel like it's also with pride too. You know.
Yeah.
Like, coming from a man and being like the only man in the family, it was kind of hard to ask for help because I don't want that.
Yeah, it's
I want to show like I'm an alpha. Okay, but how can I be an alpha if I don't have someone that was a leader as an alpha to show me how to lead too? Yeah.
To show you the way.
That's why it's very important to really know what what tree you're actually trying to bark up on. Because if you're following. No offense to families, no offense to our parents, you know, like if you follow the footsteps of your parents, you're most likely going to have the future of the parents, of your parents.
Yeah, that's true. If you don't like do anything different.
Right.
Maybe you do want that life, and that's okay too. You know?
Right.
It's
like more power to you. You know, it all just depends on like who you want your life to be like at the end of of your life. That's all that matters. You know?
Let's see. So I have a couple of questions that I want to get through.
All right.
One of them is on here, but 2 of them are not on here. They're surprise questions.
Oh my God.
But we are like reaching towards the end of the podcast, so I do want to let's just go through it a bit. So I think this is the last question that's going to be related to money.
Okay.
And it's, so if money didn't exist, like what would you change about your life? So if money wasn't an issue, whether it's like you're working for money even though you want to do something else, what would you change, or would there be nothing that you would change?
All right, you're gonna have to help me on this one.
I can probably answer mine first. So I think for this question, it's mainly about like, if money wasn't an issue, would you change anything about your life, or would you do anything differently? And I think for me, one of the things that I would do differently is that I think I would have changed a little bit, or changed my like direction life a little bit more on like boosting my relationships with other people.
Okay.
Because I feel like there are a lot of times where I feel like I had to sacrifice relationship connections, and not just like with a significant other, but just like friendships.
And is that because of money?
Yeah, because of money, which at least the idea of money. Like for example, like school. I feel like I pushed in school so that I can like get a degree, so I can get a paying job that I can support my family with.
Right.
And if money wasn't an issue, I think I would have done something, like I would have done the same field, kind of like that sniper thing, like it shot like a little bit off target. I would have done something different that was in the same field, but more in regards to like connecting with other people that have the same type of mindset or idea as me.
Okay.
And like I feel like I didn't get to do that because like, I gotta focus on school, I gotta focus on this, like I'm sorry, I can't like maybe like I think an example would be like one of my friends who's really into robotics. Like he came to me with like, oh dude, do you want to learn about this? Like, do you want to learn about how to program this or whatever? And I'm like, dude, I can't. I gotta focus on my school. I gotta focus on like trying to get a good job. Right. But like, who knows? Like, if money was an issue, I might have said yes. Right. And then
But then also you have to take into consideration not only about the money, it's the time. Right. Like if money did not exist, like there would be no problem. You know, obviously you could buy whatever kind of fortunes you want. You know, you could really invest in a lot of things, but it's the matter of time.
Like wasting time, or like
being productive, or wasting time, or
I see what you mean.
You know, like you're okay. Like for example, like everyone's being busy, but busy being what or doing what. You want to be busy to be productive, not busy to be busy. Does that make sense? Yeah.
True, yeah.
You know, like a lot of times people like are saying that, oh, I got this to do. Like, did you prioritize that? You know, like, is that really like one of the like daily habits that you want to continue to progress to get that 80% success? You know, but okay, like if money did not exist, what would I change in my life?
If anything.
I mean, there's a lot of things that that kind of held me back from investing. So I would want to invest. But for me, like I wouldn't do stock markets. Like if you're really trying to be into passive income and really focusing on like how to make a passive income, there's multiple routes. You really just have to not search it, but like find what's best for you. Find out what's best for you. You know, like I've tried stocks, I've tried real estate. I mean, both are really good. You can still do stocks within real estate. You know, that too. But it's one of those things where if you don't have a drive, a passion, or like that much of an interest, like an intense interest, it's not worth it. Like at least for me, don't get me wrong. Like, if you guys have just a pure curiosity that becomes an interest and then becomes intensely interested, find that passion. You know, go by all means, go for it.
True. You know, you can't force yourself to like this side of
of things.
A certain side of investing or something.
Right. Because I mean, there's there's other things that you can invest in, you know. But one of the things that I had to take into consideration while you know, that I wanted to change in my life was that I wanted to invest into people. That's like the biggest thing that anyone can do, you know. Like, okay, for example, this is a big one. For example,
hit me with
Kenny, what the fuck? Kanye West's apprentice was Ablo, who was also Louis Vuitton, whatever. Like, for the people that are in streetwear, like if I get my shit mixed up, I'm sorry, but like try to follow me on this. Yeah, it's like Kanye's apprentice was Albo, something like that, right?
I know what you're talking about.
And yeah, so and he's also like one of the artistics, whatever, designers for Louis Vuitton, right? But like people, or like Kanye was saying, like he was not the true Louis Vuitton Don, even though people proclaim, like, don't get me wrong, Kanye West is like a really good like Louis Vuitton Don, but at the same time, like people wanted to, or the reason why Louis Vuitton gave it to Albo was because he's the apprentice. Like he is the product of the creation.
Kanye's?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And he has a great mind.
Yeah.
Right? But like, why? Like you can invest in the creator,
a person like that.
Yeah, but you'd rather invest in the creation of what they created, right?
Yeah.
Because you like that apprentice already learned what they're capable of and explored like that realm and put it into their realm to make it better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want to invest in that person?
Yeah.
So like that's where like it, you know, that's where I kind of saw my whole vision of like making an impact, because I saw that, you know, if a person can create one hell of a success story, like obviously someone is bound to make that again, you know? And I want to make that person, like I want to change a person's life, regardless of like how small or how big it is, you know. But if I can change a person's life immensely, like I've fulfilled everything. Sorry, probably didn't answer anything that
no, that's
like
definitely.
But if I were to, like, if money didn't not exist, I would want to change my investment habits.
Like investing in people.
Yes, investing in people, also like trying to do like actually putting in motion of real estate stuff.
I see.
You know, like I actually would
different sides.
Yeah, like if anything, I probably would have invested more into actually like property. But for me, like I don't have that kind of money, so it's I can't just like hop one out.
The barrier for entry is high.
Exactly.
Or at least it's like it's conceived as high, but I haven't figured that out for myself. So.
It's like a high risk, high reward if you flip it, right?
Yeah.
But that's only if you're willing to risk that.
Yeah.
You know, but for me, like I don't have that money, so it's like I can't even make the risk.
True.
You know, granted, you can take out a loan, but you know, I don't necessarily want to get myself into a hole that I haven't like got myself enough to like get out from.
I think I don't know, it just kind of sparked my interest, but there's something that I learned from like trading. Well, I haven't really shared this with the stream that much, but I do trade options, which is like in stocks. And one thing that I learned and I want to share with you guys is that for a trader, you don't ever want to trade an amount of money that you feel scared that you're going to lose. Because if you feel that risk and that scared, then you're going to act in an emotional way and you'll probably lose it anyway. But that type of idea works for any investment. So like, let's say that you want to invest in real estate or invest in a business, and like you feel scared or anything like that when investing in it, then the amount of money that you're investing is probably too big. And maybe that type of investment can wait until you have enough to invest that way.
Right.
And so I think that really applies to this conversation, because with like risk and stuff like that.
It's also a part of a setup too, you know, like you have to set up yourself for success. You know, you gotta be prepared to whatever you need to launch or whatever you need to spend on, like prepare yourself for that. And like let's say like if you're if you think that you might lose it, you know, obviously you can make the proper funds and like hold that certain amount of what you might think might be be a loss into your account for like a dirty, like, you know, a rain. What is that called? A storm. Yeah.
For a storm, like a rainy day.
Yeah. There you go.
The rainy day fund.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things where you kind of like you already have that backspace, that plan B, just in case you fall. But here's where everything goes wrong, in a sense that people don't realize that when they fail or have failed, they don't go back to what made them fail. You know?
Yeah.
Be productive with your time, and because of the fact that you already took the initiative to start the action, you might as well understand the whole process of it all. You know? So that way that you kind of already helped yourself to get on the next better platform. You know, you want to like help yourself increase, not be stagnant.
You hear that? Increase. Produce. Okay. So we are approaching the end of the podcast, and this is a question that I'm gonna want to ask. I hear it. I'm gonna want to ask everyone that comes onto the show. So the name of the podcast is Fearless.
Oh God.
And so I think that like fear drives a lot of people and pushes them to do things that they want to do or that they don't want to do. So in your opinion, what to you is a person that lives a truly fearless life? Or like, what are some qualities that a fearless person has?
What is Sharpe?
Oh my God.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. And you want to go repeat that question again? I was so fixated on that answer. I was ready.
Oh God.
Sorry. That caffeine got me hit.
So what does it mean to be truly fearless?
Ooh. Okay.
If you want, I can go first if you want to think about it.
No, you can share.
Okay.
I have an idea of mine, but I want to know yours.
Okay. So, to me, a person that is like truly fearless is, so I think that there's three main fears that stop people from doing what it is that they want to do.
Okay.
So one is the fear of wasting time.
Okay. Yes.
Two is the fear of judgment.
Yes.
And three is the fear of failure.
I've seen this.
And so I think someone that is truly fearless is someone who has overcome all three of those fears and applied that to like every aspect of their life, you know, because those I feel like those three things really stop people from doing what it is that they want to do. And so the reason that, or at least for me, like I feel like I am like putting myself out there, whether that's like on Twitch, on stream, on YouTube, or like even in person, like at a career fair, or like going places to like talk to people, is because I am trying to overcome the fear of judgment. Right. Because the fear of wasting time, I don't feel that. The fear of wasting, of the fear of failure, I don't feel that, because like I feel like it doesn't matter how many times I fail. It's just like I'm just, you know, doing me. Right. But the fear of judgment is something that I've been like battling, trying to like push forward and accomplish and overcome that fear. But
okay, going off of that, just like I want to ask a question on where like you're saying a fear of judgment is something that you've been like having to work on. Is the fear of judgment based on like an approval from a group or an organization or of certain people that make you feel that you need that approval?
That approval, yeah, I think so, because it's definitely related to other people. Like, if I was the only person in the world, then I wouldn't feel the judgment. Right. And so one is for some reason I find like or what other people think of me important. Okay. Like their beliefs about me, or like their thoughts on like what I'm doing. And so that's just like with everyone, like friends and family and stuff. And then another one is I think I want to, or another one is like my dad. Like I feel like I know my dad doesn't like judge me.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes like whenever something good happens to me, I always tell my dad because like I want him to feel proud of me, you know?
Right.
And I think I know he's the type of person that like gives everlasting love, you know?
Of course. Dude, I love your dad.
But like I don't think I hear much words of like I'm proud of you from my dad. And so I feel like judgment from my dad, I take it like
I'm just trying to make sure that he like sees that I can make him proud type of thing. I got you.
Yeah. So
like
that those two things are like the judgment things that I feel.
I see, okay, like for me it's like I agree with your dad because I'm same way. Pops.
I know. That's true.
I don't know about y'all, but if you don't know my pops, man. God dang. But so I feel you on the judgment of like with your parents, but aside from like the judgment of others, like I don't think that's valid. For me, the reason why I don't see it's valid is because they don't have the success that you want. You know, like yeah, they might be working to the same goal that you might have, but you don't necessarily want to get your approval from other people that are in the same kind of industry.
Yeah,
you want the respect from people that have already been in that industry.
I see.
That makes sense. Like if you switch that mindset, you will not fear the judgment of others. You'd fear the respect that has not been given from others.
I see.
Like those two words.
Interesting, like way to think about it.
Yeah, those two words. Those two words are like things that kind of flip the mindset to help you go to the next level. What was the question again?
So, what does it mean to be truly fearless?
Oh, okay. What does it mean to be truly fearless? Okay. Someone who's like not afraid to fall, not afraid to fail. Someone who understands the process of being challenged to be a better person. You know, like
they're like okay with that challenge.
Exactly.
They're not like, scared of themselves.
Exactly. They kind of already embraced the fact that if they were to fail, they need to realize what they did to get there. You know?
I see.
And if you're already accepting of the fact that, you know, you're going to fail, you kind of already have an understanding of like, okay, like my process is easy because I know what I needed to work on. You know, and you already moved. Because you already learned that lesson, you can go to the next lesson right afterwards.
I see.
You know, continuously work on that skill set. And that's like where like fearless comes in because of the fact that you're already consistent. You know, you're already working on your craft. And someone that's like that wasn't afraid to, you know, fail. Yeah. That is willing to like go that extra mile, you know, and that's like, that it's someone that already embraces change, you know, like
not afraid of change.
Yeah, it's very hard for people to accept change. Like for me, for one,
that's
like
true.
yeah, for sure. Hard. For me, for one, it was more like when I first left this place, it was tough. You know, I was already in an environment where like I was already living used to it, and used to it. But the environment kind of like screwed me over because it was a different variable. Yeah. You know,
outside variable.
Yeah, but because of that like difference, it had to make me grow out of my comfort zone to make the, you know, adjustments that are necessary for me to continue to progress.
I see.
So being fearless would be a person that, you know, is willing to overcome the challenges that arise, you know, and accepts the challenges no matter what, you know. Like if you're trying to be like the Lion King, you know, who is it? Nala? Nala.
Simba?
Simba. Yeah. Stupid. If you're trying to be like Simba, you know, you can't run away from your fears. You have to face your fears head on. Yeah. You know,
it's the only way to grow.
It really is. You know, and it's hard to face it because it's the scariest thing that you might have to face. But through that fear, it might not even be like that bad. You know, you never know unless you actually go through the, like, okay, there's an analogy, there's this metaphor, that, you know, you can never see, you can't see the rainbow unless you've seen the rain.
I see.
You know, like you have to,
go through the hard parts.
The hard parts to see like the brighter side of things.
I agree
The
with that
grass
so much.
is greener on the other side.
True.
You have to go up the mountain though.
And if you're up the mountain by yourself, you did it wrong.
If you're up the mountain
make
by
sure that
yourself, make sure you have your snowboard.
Push others too. Push other people up there too. Okay. Is there anything else that you want to talk about before we end the podcast? Just I feel like we talked a lot about a lot of things, and I'm super happy that we got to.
Right. No, honestly, I love about like this because we get to like share our thoughts. Because some people might need to hear this.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
and
true.
it's not like everyone hears it very often, but you know, on some certain days that they might happen to scroll onto this, like it might actually click for them.
True.
And they might see a difference and change the next day. But it all starts with initiative, you know, like really take the time to think about your why as to the reason you need to do what you're doing or what you're trying to succeed in life, right? And start from there. When you have your reason as to what you're doing in life, you know, figure out the success that you want from people that have that. And then work your way from there. Like, how did they do it?
Through mentors or just meeting people too.
Exactly. Like the way that you, like even with networking, you can grow from just networking because that's not a skill set that we practice in college.
Yeah.
Hashtag Cal State Fullerton is great.
Hashtag Cal State Long Beach and UCI is awesome. We practice making friends. But we don't practice networking and talking to people that we don't necessarily know.
And that's on you to practice because that's actually one of the most important things that you should learn, not from college.
If he's saying that, it's definitely true. Just saying. For sure. All right. I think that's going to conclude the podcast. Thank you guys for spending your time with me. I know that you can be anywhere else right now, but you're listening to us talk and just share the knowledge and experience that we have. And I really hope that this podcast brings value to you, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. You know, I want to make sure that we reach as many people as we can and affect as many lives as we can. And so yeah, I just hope that you guys have a great day today.
Show appreciation, you know, show appreciation to those that you care for, love for. And if it doesn't have to be like someone that you like absolutely know. You know, you could really impact a person's like day just by saying hi or complimenting them. You know, True. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. So just a little, just some input about the podcast. The podcast is going to be uploaded on all major podcast platforms. Currently, we have Breaker, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Spotify, and Anchor. And we're waiting for Apple Music, Apple Podcasts to get back to us about uploading on that, which is my favorite platform, and I'm sad that they didn't accept me yet.
It's about to go up. When you get onto the Apple, it's about to go down. But you don't even know.
Spotify was surprisingly the first platform to accept us, which I thought it would be the last. But yeah, I'm still waiting for Apple Podcast. I want to be on there because I use Apple Podcast the most. But yeah, we're gonna be on those platforms. I'm gonna be uploading this on those, so stay tuned for that. There's not necessarily a set date, which is why people that come to the live stream, you guys get to see it first, and you guys get to see it raw. If you want to either ask me any questions about the podcast, or if you just want someone to talk to, then you feel free to join my Discord, or you can message me or comment on any of the podcasts. I'm definitely gonna see it. Or follow me on Twitch. Any of those things work. Thank you guys for watching. That concludes the podcast. I love you all. I'm gonna be